Chums, welcome back to our very first podcast of 2022. I am the host for this first episode of the new year, Paulus, and with me, as always, is my ever fallible, consequential. I don't know. It's just Mr. Raws. He's here with me, man. I can't even think of super words to say. I can't even think of words, man. Like, I think the Christmas period has been heavy with me, man. But yeah, he's there. He's smiling. He's looking good. And what can I say? But hi, Mr. Raws. How you been? What you been up to? How was your Christmas? How was your New Year?
Hello. I think the Christmas and New Year's festivities have got the better of you there, Paul. You've completely lost your vocabulary and everything.
I was trying to think of what's the word they're looking for. Super relatives.
Superlatives.
Superlatives. Yeah, I was like, oh, I'm trying to think of that, but I couldn't think of anything. But
you're gonna have to get a list that you just work from.
I know,
a notepad with loads of superlatives.
I like doing it on the fly, man. But yeah,
that's why this happens.
This is like, well, we'll get on to why I'm struggling with words. But how was everything, man? It's the new year, it's 2022.
Yeah, it is 2021. The evil is defeated. Mm-hmm. Now comes 2022, which will probably be about as bad as 2021 and 2020 before it. But yeah, Christmas was good. I got to see my brother.
Very positive message there.
We're off to a bright start.
Yeah.
But I mean, seriously, I'm thinking of things that happened early in 2020, and I'm like, that was 2 years ago, really? 2020 and 2021 have just melded together in my memory somehow. Yeah. They just feel like the same year. But yeah, Christmas was good. I got to see my brother and his wife and their newborn, my little nephew, and saw you and Dan and Nikki before that, and then some extended family, and another group of mates went out for just after Christmas.
What? You don't have other group of mates? No, you don't have any other. Who are these people?
I've got at least 6 friends.
At least 6 good friends.
Went out for a meal with a few other mates, and exchanged Christmas presents and that just after Christmas. And then New Year, I just sat in and watched Jules Holland as I am wont to do every single year.
Hey man, Hootenanny. Do you know what? Speaking of Jules Holland, I found out. I think it was last year or a year before that. It's not actually recorded live. It's recorded a week before, so that kind of broke my heart when I found out that Jules Hootenanny was pre-recorded. I always thought
he made a point on this time saying it was pre-recorded, but I didn't realise it always was. So yeah, that's kind of ruined the magic for me now. Thanks a lot, Jules.
Yeah, cheers, Jules. All that
next year, bravado. I'll just watch some anime or something.
Yeah, or just go to bed, man. Yeah. Go to bed. Fuck it. Jesus.
What about you? How was your Christmas and New Year?
That's a very personal question, Mr. Ross, and I refuse to answer.
And moving on then.
No, it was good, man. Standard really. Get friends, you meet friends, family, you drink a lot, you eat a lot. Speaking of drinking a lot, I think I drank too much.
Never.
No, it never happens, but it did happen this time because we had people come over, and me being the generous man I am, I bought absolute ton of beers and spirits. I must have bought 4 or 5 crates of beer, 3 or 4 bottles of spirits, bought a bottle of sake, Japanese rice wine, had a bottle of soju, and yeah, got.
So that sorted you out. What did you get for everyone else?
They just got a bottle of water. But yeah, just drank a lot, and you ate a lot, eat a lot of leftovers, eat a lot of snacks. You get these in the UK. We have a place called Iceland's, which does a great selection of sort of party foods. So I had loads of those. Got 3 for 5.
Did your mum go to Iceland?
My mum did go to Iceland, but I went to Iceland as well. So Paul went to Iceland, but drank a lot, and I think it's affecting when you you've reached a point where you just go, you know what, I've got to take a break from booze, man. Even if it's the Christmas period, I'm just like, I can't do it like every day.
Every day.
Yeah, it just gets to you, like not only like physically, I think it starts to affect you mentally, because you just like, it's depressing, isn't it? And it wears your body down and you just feel like shit. So I was just like, I need to just take a break. And obviously we're not as young as we used to be. I mean, back when we were fresh faced, Mr. Rawds and I, we used to drink all night, drink bottles of cans of Skull, like absolute rimps, and have like 2 or 3
The
hours.
skull was one time, man. We don't make a habit of drinking beer that shit.
I don't think you can get it anymore, but here, but yeah, we drink like loads of beer, go watch Kerrang, Scuzz, and music and alternative music channels. Then go to sleep for like 3 hours. Not even that. Sometimes we just had like 2 hours, and sometimes no sleep. We just get up and go out again with some friends and just carry on. But those days are well and truly far behind.
Long gone.
No way in hell. I mean, I'm lucky if I can stay up until like 1 o'clock these days. I just think to myself, oh, I just really wish I was in bed. You know, when you want to go, when you're in bed, you got like fresh linen, you feel fresh, and you get up, and it's just slightly cold outside, like in your room, but you get under your duvet and you get all cozy and just like, oh yeah, it's like being wrapped in a nice warm cocoon. You can't beat it. Now I'm not at that age and that mindset where I'm just thinking, I don't want to rock and roll all the time. I want to sleep and roll. So that's where I am. But I got to ask you, like, I asked you about your Christmas, your New Year's. We both watched Jules Holland, but have you been playing any games? Have you been watching any films? Have you been watching any series? What else have you been doing?
I finished 3 games in December, which was pretty good.
Holy fuck balls.
I finished the Halo Infinite campaign, which was amazing. Which we might do a video of that at some point in the future when we've both finished it, and have a chat about it maybe. I finished The Gunk, which came out just before Halo, I think. Short little puzzle platformer. It took me like 6 hours, I think. It's really good game. It
was on Game Pass, wasn't it?
It was on Game Pass day one. Yeah, I think it's Xbox
exclusive,
PC exclusive.
Yeah, I think it is.
And yeah, it's a really nice little game. I recommend it if you've got if you're looking for a shortish game, you like platformers, a bit of puzzling in it, give it a go. It's very non-challenging. It's a very chill game. You're not going to get stuck or get lost in it or anything, but it's quite a fun little adventure. And I also finished Yakuza 3, which I mostly played over xCloud. Actually, I was playing it in the browser on my laptop because it was just quite handy to do. It's quite an old game at this point anyway. I think it originally came out in 2008 on PS3, and the remaster on Xbox is 1080p 60 FPS. So it felt like a good game to just play over the browser. It was really solid on xCloud. And I finished it a lot quicker than I would have if it was competing for my Xbox time. But yeah, I've been trying to get through the Yakuza series. I played Yakuza 3 back in like 2011, I think, on PS3. It was the first one I played, and until they started coming to Xbox, it was the only one I played.
Oh yeah.
So when they came to Xbox, I started playing them. So now I've played 0, Kiwami 1, Kiwami 2, and 3. So I've got 4 more to go to catch up with the series.
Excellent.
And as for a new game I've been playing, I started it a few days ago. I've been playing Guardians of the Galaxy.
I've heard good things, man. It's one of those sleeper hits.
It's really good. I'm surprised. It's like, do you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of Jedi Fallen Order.
Oh.
In that it's not really doing anything new. Like everything it's doing, you've done in other games, but it does it all well enough, and it kind of melds it with really good art direction. Just like Jedi Fallen Order, I took hundreds of screenshots of that because the art direction was so good. Guardians is very similar in that regard, and it absolutely nails its setting. Like Fallen Order was the Star Wars game I wanted for years and thought we'd never get. It absolutely nailed the whole Star Wars aesthetic and universe and everything, and Guardians does the same thing. It just completely nails the Guardians of the Galaxy, and yeah, it's really good. I'm really enjoying it. I'm about 4 or 5 hours into it now, and it's very good. I'm very happy.
Excellent. All right, cool.
Christmas present as well, so I didn't even have to buy it, which makes it even better.
Good old Christmas presents. I didn't get many games for Christmas. I think the only game I got was from you. Yeah, no, I don't ask for games as much as I used to because like I play exclusively on PC and Xbox. Well, Xbox pretty much. I sort of haven't played much Switch as I like, and I kind of got. It's going to sound controversial. Kind of gone off PlayStation, even though I really like PlayStation 4. I haven't got a PS5, so I'm kind of playing on that, and all the games I want really comes out on Game Pass. And I'm more of a digital person now, so if I do buy a game, I get it digitally. So, but yeah, like I think the only game I got was you, which was the special edition, deluxe edition of Control.
Control Ultimate Edition.
Yeah, Ultimate Edition. Yeah, so many editions and stuff now. But cool, man. But
it's a very good game.
Yeah, I'll get around to it. Obviously, I've been in a like sort of like a because the people who come over, like my sister and her significant other, we tend to heavily drink, and
that's your primary method of interaction.
It's like we watch football, we drink, we watch films, and we eat a lot,
and
drink, and they're the type of people that like going to the pub. Nothing wrong with that. I mean, I do like a pub every now and again.
Nothing wrong with that at all. I quite miss the pub.
I kind of want. I'm kind of disappointed that I don't have like my own sort of haunt, my regular. You know, like someone close by that I can go to every other night and just have a couple of beers. I don't have that in my life yet. I mean, we did. There is a pub that we used to go to that I would say was our regular. Well, we haven't been there in it must be like 2 years now since the pandemic, which was a place in Croydon called The Ship, which we really like going to. But it's not like a local. We have to go out of our way to get there. It's closest for you, but it's still you have to get train, tram, or drive, or get a taxi there or something. With me, it's the same thing. But yeah, so I like to do that. But for me, what I've been watching, what I've been doing, I went to the cinema to watch Spider-Man No Way Home, and this was a couple of days before Christmas. Obviously, there's social distancing in there, so no one was sat next to you. There was like a gap. And
did you have to wear a mask?
They asked us to wear a mask, which I did. I kept the mask on, and tell you what, wearing a mask for 2 hours straight in a cinema, it's tough, man. But good thing for me, like, I've had both my shots and I've had my booster shot as well. And going off a bit, I've actually this is the first time since I've been having these vaccinations that I felt quite bad. Like my body, like I had like slight side effects to it. You know, like the usual side effects, like slight body ache, fatigue, and stuff like that. I did have that, but that kind of that didn't happen straight after. It happened like a day or so after I had the injection. It just was like, oh, what's that? But I felt fine afterward. Like a day after, I felt fine. But yeah, I saw No Way Home. Really good film. If you haven't seen it, I take it you haven't seen it yet, Mr. Ross.
I have not.
You're missing out, mate. It's one of those films. It's like Avengers: Infinity War. I would go to the cinema to watch it just to see it on the big screen, but you know, it's understandable people don't want to go to cinema, but it's made a hell of a lot of money. Like I think it's made $1 billion so far, and it's still going.
That's a big chunk of change.
Yeah. But yeah, man, good film. What else have I been doing? I watched the first episode of Book of Boba, which is good. I finished Hawkeye, which is pretty good, you know. And what else? I watched the whole anime series the other day.
Wow, Paul watched anime.
I know, man.
It's almost as momentous a moment as the anime man watching anime.
Yeah. Well, I'm unlike him. I didn't name myself Mr. Anime or anime or something. Yeah, I watched a series which actually the Trash Taste Boys recommended on their Trash Taste After Dark I watched one of the live streams and they were going on about anime and manga, and they mentioned one, and I said, "Oh, this sounds interesting." It was called Horahime or Horahima, which is an amalgamation of two names. So you got the main protagonist female's name and the main protagonist male's name mashed together, which is a romantic slight comedy, but with a twist, which is unusual. They get together halfway, like pretty much the fourth episode, they date and they stay together, and you show their relationship progress. And that
is a rarity indeed.
When I heard about that, when the Trash Taste Boys spoke about it, I was like, wow, that's so unusual. I gotta watch this because I do like that. I have a romantic side and I like watching it. It's quite fun, but I do get annoyed with the tropes. And when they said that this doesn't happen, I was like, I gotta watch this. So it was on Funimation, so I watched all of it, and yeah, they like the boy meets girl. It's set in Japan and Japanese high school, but they get together and you see the relationship, and they hold hands, and they're not shy about showing their affection. They kiss, they do everything that you expect them to do. There are doubts, there are some pitfalls, but there's never like a rival, a third party, a childhood friend or something like that. You know what I mean? They're together and they're happy and they like it. But it's got a twist to it, but I don't want to give too much. Not a twist, but the boy is an outsider, but because he's got long hair and he wears glasses, and that's considered emo and edgy. So so there's a stigma against her dating him, but he turns out he's one of those ones in America, when you take the glasses off the girl and do her hair and she turns out to be pretty.
Yeah. It turns out she's a supermodel.
Well, it's the same like with the guy. He's like good looking, but that kind of thing sort of annoyed me. It's like, oh, the guy has to be
change himself.
Change it, but he doesn't do it for her. Well, he does it for her, but she doesn't ask him to do it. He does it so the people will stop whispering about her dating him. So, but he's still the same person. He's just like, oh, a bit, this is how people want to see me and stuff. But it's good, man. I would recommend watching it. And if you like romance animes and comedies and a feel good anime, I would recommend watching it. It's different. It's not will they, won't they, stumbling blocks, misunderstandings and all that stuff that gets infuriating. Stuff that like you just like, oh, can they just get together? Can we see their relationship and how there's always, that's the whole point of relationship. We get into it, you have problems in the relationship, but they work through it and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So I like that. But yeah, so I will recommend that. But games I've been playing Halo Infinite.
Sounds interesting.
Yeah, I've been playing.
I've been playing Halo.
Yeah, I streamed.
How are you finding it?
Yeah, it's good, man. I streamed a bit of it, and then I edited it all down into a YouTube video. So yeah, I streamed it on our Twitch channel again with Chums. Edited it for 3 hours. Edited it down to about just under an hour video, with all the best bits and stuff like that. But fun. I really enjoy it. I really enjoyed the game. I've played it off stream as well. I've cleared the first sort of main dungeon, if you want to call it, the tower, and I've pretty much done all the side quests, collected all the Spartan cores and all the cosmetics, freed all the what are they called? Is it FOBs? The landing areas, like where were you?
FOBs, yeah.
Cleared all that, freed all the Marines. So I'm just going to go to the other side of the island where they're doing the excavation and sort of clear that bit. And I do like the fact that you get the you get specific targets to take out. I do like that. So I've been doing that as well. But overall, the game's fun. And whoever thought of adding a hook shot is an absolute genius, because that's just so much fun using that fucking hook shot. And I don't even use a vehicle most of the time. I just like boom. And I was like, can I go up that mountain?
Yeah, why would you just? Yeah.
And I was like, I looked at this mountain. I was like, can I get over that?
You can.
And I was like, you can go over that. And if you upgrade your slingshot, you can just get it to recharge so much quicker. So you're basically just like Spider-Man in your way up there.
Spider-Man, yeah.
Yeah. But it's
it's brilliant.
It's a good game. I I could see why people liked it so much. It's just like a big sandbox for you just to be the Master Chief, use any tactic you want. Because like the tower, you can come at it any way you want. Anyway, and I just grappled up the side and just started like raining down. I took one of the corners and just took out that area and started sniping every grunt and brute I could find, and then went into the main bit and just like hook shot and use the stun on the people. It's great. And then hook shot like barrels towards not barrels, those cores towards me and throw them. It's so much fun, man. It's just like they were like, this is Halo. This is all the best bits that you like from Halo. Have at it and have a good time. And I didn't even open the doors to let the Marines in. I just like they were like outside going, "Oh, come on!" You can hear them firing away at people. I was like, "No, I'll deal with it."
Yeah, I was doing that as well to begin with, and then sort of when I was, because you've got like the banished outposts and stuff as well that
that's right,
basically all like side missions. I started when I was doing the last few of those. I was like, I tooled up all my Marines, drove them up to the door, then I like grappled over the wall, took a handful of enemies out, and opened the door, and then went back in, got in my Warthog, and then just drove around like what part of the base I could drive around with them, firing off rocket launchers and stuff. Absolute carnage. But yeah, like Halo's always been quite sandboxy anyway, so I was pretty confident about how it'd translate to an open world. But honestly, the game came out better than I thought it was going to. I expected it to be a lot of fun anyway, but it's really good. It's like probably tied for my game of the year, but I think we'll probably end up doing a video about game of the year discussion at some point. We did have plans to do one at some point, but I think we're going to wait a bit more until we've played a few more games maybe, because there's a lot of stuff we missed. But yeah, it's a very good game. I enjoyed it. I'm interested to see what you think of the story when you finish to it. So maybe we'll do like a spoiler cast video when you finished it as well. Have a chat about the story and stuff.
Yeah, man, we could do that. But yeah, so let's go on about video game news. But I don't think there's been much video game news because
I don't think there's been anything, to be honest.
There's been nothing. This is the time of year where there's very, very little. I think it's quite a quiet period in terms of video game news. I don't think there's been anything. I can't think.
I had a brief look before we started recording.
Yeah,
I had a brief look before we started recording, and I was like, nothing's happened. There's literally nothing to talk about. So yeah, that's the news section, I guess.
That's the news, mate. That's the news. Nothing happened. It's probably something that something that very minor, but no big sort of gaming news, nothing like that. I mean, the game awards happened, but we've already covered that, and
we have.
Yeah.
I think pretty much the only thing that's happened is all the outlets doing their end of year lists, and we don't really want to go into that. Because that's just loads of different outlets giving their opinions on games, and that'd just be a whole video by itself, and I don't think it'd be all that interesting, to be honest.
No, exactly. But
other than that, I don't think anything has happened.
Okay, so let's get on to the topic in hand. We're going to talk about, because it's a new year, and with a new year,
it is.
There's new game releases coming in that particular year. So we're just going to talk about the games that are going to be released in 2022, or should be released, and our most anticipated game of 2022. So let's just talk about that, Mr. Roars. There are a few games being released in February, quite a few big ones. I can think of one off the top of my head, which it's got a lot of hype. People are very, very excited for, which is Elden Ring. I think that's been released in February of this February or March. Let's just fact check that.
I'll be honest, I haven't got a clue.
Yeah,
I don't pay much attention to FromSoft's games, but yeah, that sounds about right.
We need to talk about that anyway, just because it's part of the
February 25th.
February 25th. I was right. Like you said, like it's from Software. They're the developers behind Dark Souls and the Souls series and all those sort of Souls-like games. Yeah, I gotta say, man, like I'm not a big Dark Souls fan, and so I'm not really. I don't know. It's like I'm not going to say I'm going to dismiss it and go, I'm not going to play it, because it's got J.R.R. Martin helping with. He wrote this. I think he helped with the story, didn't he?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
believe so.
So
Like the world building and
yeah,
stuff.
but from what I've seen so far, it just looks more of the same, like sort of more just Dark Souls, just but with a different name
In an
uh,
open world.
and an open world. So I don't know if I'm. I don't know. I'll probably play. I mean, like all the media outlets are going to cover it. All YouTube channels are going to cover it. But it's one of those ones where we're not sort of. Well, I'm not
Not the
very.
target demo.
Yeah, I mean, as a gaming channel, we probably should do something for it. But unlike some YouTube channels, we don't get like free copies, or we're not journalists or anything like that. We're not important enough to get like a copy to review and to make a YouTube video or something like that. So.
And if Hidetaka Miyazaki's listening, he's not going to send us one after we just said, not really that
Yeah,
bothered.
I mean, if you do want to send us one, we will do videos on it. But
And we'll look bad playing it.
we look bad. But it's just I'm kind of intrigued because it has been like written by George R. Martin, the guy behind Game of Thrones. For anyone who doesn't know, um, so I'm kind of interested to see what kind of story he does. I mean, like you read his books, and you know they shit all over the TV series just in terms of the story and lore and everything like the show couldn't really cover or chose to leave out. And obviously, like if we talk about the last 3 seasons of Game of Thrones, it kind of was just like a hollow shell of itself. But I don't know if that's enough to make me want to go out and buy it and play it, but who knows, man? Like maybe I will, maybe I would really like it. I just don't know. Like I'm not like you say, it's just because I'm not a fan of the Dark Souls series.
Yeah. I mean, I bought Dark Souls 1 when it came out. Like I remember people going mad over Demon Souls and importing it and stuff, and I remember reading about it, thinking it sounded really interesting. So when they announced Dark Souls, I pre-ordered it. I've got like the day one edition with the art book and everything on the shelf up there, and I played it for like, I don't know, like 8 hours, and I just kind of got bored of inching along. And I've started that game 4 times, I think. And the last time I started it was, I think, last year. I started it on PC. So I was like, right, I'm determined to actually find out why people love this game. And I got about halfway through it, and I was enjoying it for a while, and then I just started getting a bit bored, and then I just eventually just walked away from it and stopped playing it. And yeah, I think I left it at about the halfway point. I can see what people like in it, but it didn't really keep me engaged for more than, I don't know, maybe like 15 hours or something that I put into it. And I've never bothered with any of their other games. I'm kind of intrigued by Bloodborne because of the setting of it, but don't have a PS4 anymore, so I couldn't play that anyway.
What happened to your PS4?
I gave it to my brother. When the new consoles came out, I was like, "Oh, I'm getting a Series X. I'll probably get a PS5 within like a year or so." So just give my PS4 to my brother. He can enjoy it in the meantime. And now no one can buy a new next gen console. So, but to be honest, I probably won't buy a PS5 at this point. But that's a different story. But they did Sekiro as well, and I quite like the setting of that. But again, it's just like I get why people like the games, but they're not really for me. So Elden Ring, I think the only interest I have in Elden Ring is just see what GRRM has been doing when he should have been writing Winds of Winter instead.
He does seem to do that, doesn't he?
Kind of.
He does seem to get distracted by like lots of other side projects and it's I know I'm going a bit off topic, but he has fans who say just leave him, just let him do it. He can do what he wants, you know.
This is his process.
Yeah. And we've got other fans, which I think you fall on the side of. We'll go, well, you know, come on, please,
Write the fucking book,
write
George.
the book. He's still got 2 big books to get through. You know, we need to. It's been like what, nearly 12 years since the last book. So
something like that.
Let's get on it. I think the last book came out in 2011, didn't it, or something? So it's pretty sure. Yeah. So that's a long That's a long time, man. And
It's a long time.
yeah, and we would. I hate to be it if it remained unfinished, because that's his magnum opus. That's what he's famous for, is for the Game of Thrones, for the Song of Ice and Fire books. But yeah, man, I just I don't know. Maybe we'll play it. Maybe I'll fall in love with it. Maybe it's not like a Dark Souls game where you just constantly die and die and die again. I think it's going to be slightly different. If they want you to play for the story, they probably like ease up on the difficulty. So,
maybe, but then that's what a lot of the fan base is there for. So I don't know. It's kind of a bit of a tightrope they'll have to walk, and it's going open world as well. Whereas all their worlds before have been very tightly designed. Like the one thing I did like about Dark Souls quite a lot when I played it was how the world kind of spirals back on itself. So you start off and you start pushing through, and then you find like shortcuts back to where you were before that make the next run shorter and stuff like that. And I really appreciated that, and how it feels like a puzzle box unfolding as you go through it. So I'm kind of wondering how they're going to sort of marry that to open world sensibilities. But interesting to see how it turns out at the very least. But yeah, I'm not excited about it, but I'll probably have a look at it at least.
Yeah. I mean, like, I don't want to go about every game that's coming out in 2020 because we'll be here all day. But like the main standout ones, obviously you got like Elden Ring. I think the new God of War is coming out. But neither of us have a PS5, so I don't think we'll be playing that. And I'm not too hyped about it anyway. I'm just like, yes, it's going to be good. I mean, you're obviously going to get good visual graphics and gameplay will be solid.
Cross-gen though, as well, isn't it?
Was it on PS4?
It's on PS4 and PS5, I think.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure I remember people being quite upset about that. Maybe I'm just thinking of Horizon Forbidden West instead. But
yeah, that's another game that's coming out, isn't it?
That is coming out. Yeah, I'd be fairly excited about that if I had a PlayStation, but obviously I don't anymore. But the first one's on PC, so I reckon that the second one will come to PC at some point down the line. So
the PC port wasn't very good though, was it? Of Horizon.
It's been fixed up now. But, when it launched, it was a little bit iffy. But,
did it come out on?
I bought it.
Did it come out on Steam? Or did it come out?
I think it. I don't know if it had a exclusivity term at some point, but it is on Steam. I bought it on Steam over Christmas because it was on sale. So I played it on PS4, but I never played the expansion. So I picked it up for like a tenner on Steam over the Christmas break. So I'll replay it and do the DLC. But yeah, I'd be quite excited for Forbidden West if I had a PS4 or a PS5, but as I don't, I can't get excited about it. But if it gets announced for PC, I'll get excited about it then, because then I'll be able to play it. Yeah, I really like the first one. So yeah, God of War. I thought God of War 2018 was just okay, so I don't really care about the next one.
Controversial.
I'm sure we've discussed this before.
Yeah,
I just thought it was okay.
Yeah, but for people who've this is the first time you listen to the podcast, Mr. Raw's thought it was okay, just okay.
It was a good game. It just wasn't amazing.
Yeah, I mean, like Sony Studios seem to have a thing where pairing up a old mentor with a young upstart. So, but yes,
it worked so well in The Last of Us.
Oh God, yeah. But could we just talk about, like, before we talk about more games, what's your most anticipated game of 2022? I've got a feeling I might know the answer, but let's
probably Starfield.
I knew you were going to say that. Yeah. But
I mean, I like my BGS RPGs, so a brand new IP from them is exciting. And like Skyrim, for all the shit it gets, is one of my favorite games of all time. I absolutely love that game. So a new IP from them is very exciting. That's penciled in for November, so hopefully it doesn't get delayed into 2023 or anything. But Todd Howard seemed quite positive about it hitting its date.
Do you reckon
that, for me, that and Redfall are my main two that I'm excited about, but we'll talk about Redfall in a bit.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited for Starfield. But it's not my most anticipated game of the year though. But I think mine is. It's going to be funny. It's going to sound so like cringy, but it's It's the new Hogwarts game, the Harry Potter game. I'm quite looking forward to. I always thought
I didn't know you cared about Harry Potter, to be honest.
I do like Harry Potter, but I always thought that world lent itself to an RPG. It kind of make like you get sorted into houses. You could get there's a good, there's a bad, there's like moral grey, and you get to like learn spells and you progress throughout the year. Because in the UK we have like what we call year one, you know what I mean. We don't have like in America, what do they call it?
Grade.
Yeah, grade, like the freshman, sophomore, and senior and stuff. We just go, or we're in year one, or no, it normally goes the reverse: 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11, doesn't it? It's like that way. I think that's how I did it in my school. So I was year 7, then year 8, year 9, year 10, year 11.
Year 7 is the first year of high
yeah,
school.
Yeah,
and then year 11 is the last year.
Yeah. We leave school at 16. That's our mandatory year. You can go to college, then 2 years at college, and you go to university. But yeah, I always thought it lent itself well to that sort of premise. So I'm quite intrigued. I quite like. I could say the normal, like, you know, Starfield and what's the other one? Not 4, bloody God of War and all that. But I'm quite interested. Yeah, I'm quite interested in to see how this game. I mean, I've seen the trailers; it looks fun, man. And I wasn't saying I'm a closet Harry Potter film fan, but I've read the books, I've watched the films. I quite like it. But I'm not like I've never like got myself a wand and like a robe or some shit like that. But I think it's
not that you're willing to admit to anyway.
I mean, like, I don't see anything wrong and like with someone who likes it, because we like geek shit. We got like models of like anime characters and stuff like that and games characters. There's nothing wrong.
I'm not going to give anyone shit for liking Harry Potter. I didn't know you were into it.
Like, I wouldn't say like I'm into it, but I like that. I like the idea behind it. I mean, like, a lot of people like love that series, and do you know what I mean? They
well, it was childhood for a lot of people, wasn't it?
I mean,
especially these days.
When that came out, I think I was like in my early teens or something when that came out. When it came out in 95, 94, I don't know when the first book came out.
Couldn't tell you.
I think it came out like in the mid 90s when it first initially came out, and then obviously it got more popular and then people started speaking about it. But I think the first book, The Philosopher's Stone, came out in 94. I wish we had someone who can fact check this for us. We have to hire someone to do that and pay them in hugs and kisses.
1997.
Okay, yeah. So like mid-teens. So yeah, I always quite liked it, and yeah, the books were fun. It's just fun, man. Like, not everything has to be like serious or anime or anything like that. I just quite like it. And I always wanted to go to the Harry Potter world. There's one in London, not in London, outside of London. But it's kind of thing I can't really rock up there by myself or with friends. It's the sort of thing if I had the family,
half cut.
Yeah, if I had a family or something like that, or if I had a girlfriend, I'll take them. But
oh, you're just depressing me now, Paul.
Yeah.
Jeez.
But well, hey man, I'm in the same boat. But yeah, it's just good. It's just I'm quite looking forward to it. But yeah, man, Harry Potter, man. No,
that has surprised me, I must say.
Yeah, I mean, I could go on about other games that I could be excited for, but I'll be lying to myself. I'm being true to my feelings, man. You know what I mean?
Okay, so that's your most anticipated. What else are you looking forward to? Anything else that tickles your fancy?
Maybe the Stalker game, Stalker 2. That's coming out on Xbox on Game Pass, I believe, in day one. So that's probably something I'll get into. But
I think so.
The first one only came out on PC, or did it come out on a console? I just remember
PC only.
Yeah, I just remember people saying that it was a pain in the ass to run.
Back in 2007, I think.
Wow, and it had a lot of mods to help to improve it. But I've seen the trailers for it, and Yeah, that looks pretty good, man.
Does
But
look good.
yeah, but it's just like Stalker 2 kind of reminds me of the Metro games. That's all,
Yeah,
you
if
know
I
what I mean?
remember correctly, the people that made Metro 2023, 2033, I think it was called actually, splintered off from the people that made Stalker. I think maybe I'm making that up, but I'm sure I remember reading that. So yeah, very similar kind of vibe.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's what I kind of getting the feeling. But yeah, I'm interested to see, like you said, Redfall. I'm interested to see that. That looks quite interesting. I would say there's quite a few games that are coming out this year that I'm not sort of a big, like, you got Dying Light 2, which people have been waiting for a long while. It's quite
It
hotly
does look
anticipated.
good. I never played the first one,
Yeah,
but the trailer for 2 does look really good.
it's just I'm just like, oh, another. It's got the parkour elements in it, so it kind of
Yeah,
reminds me of Mirror's Edge and stuff like that, but with zombies.
Mirror's Edge with zombies.
It is
That's the sales pitch.
it pretty much is, isn't it? It's just parkour, first person parkouring with zombies. And
It does look really good.
I
I didn't give a shit about it until I saw some trailers, and I was like, this actually looks quite good.
yeah, and but yeah, anything else, Mr. Ross? Because I've been waffling for a while. What else are you looking forward to? I mean,
I want to see more of Redfall,
hmm,
as we've mentioned it a couple of times, but we only have like the CGI trailer to go on, but it's Arcane, and Arcane don't make bad games as far as I'm concerned. So I'm looking forward to that. Also Arcane, but the other one, because there's 2 of them, Leon and Austin. We're getting Deathloop on Game Pass this year because it was a timed exclusive. So didn't have a PS5, so I haven't been able to play it. So looking forward to playing that finally. I suppose I could have bought it on PC, but when you know it's coming to Game Pass, it's kind of feels a bit weird spending 50 quid on it. But yeah, that'll be September, I guess. But Redfall, very excited to see more of it because it seems very much like I don't know if it's Left 4 Dead like. There was a guy that supposedly was like testing it in alpha state and leaked a load of stuff onto Reddit a few months back, and he said it was actually more like Borderlands. It's like a Borderlands style arcane game with not zombies, with vampires. Sounds very good to me. So
are vampires going to be the new zombies?
who knows?
They're going to be like the generic sort of enemy types to fight nowadays.
You've got them pumping out Vampire the Masquerade's side projects all over the place. I feel like there's been about 9 of those recently, even though Bloodlines 2 has been pushed back. So it feels like there are quite a few vampire games doing the rounds.
I mean, speaking of Vampire Last Masquerade, that's a game I have not actually played, but I have it on. I think I got it on Steam. Or if not, it's pretty cheap on Steam. I've always wanted to kind of play it because I watch videos on it and people talk so highly of it. And I'm just like, oh man, should I? I want to get it, download it, and play it and see if it's good. I mean, there's a lot of people who play it who I really enjoy, like YouTubers and stuff, and I respect their opinions. So I'm just like, yeah, maybe I should play it. And what I've seen of it, obviously, it's dated for its time.
The people that have played it are like, people that play it and love it would like name it among their favorite games of all time. So I need to play that at some point.
Yeah, man. Yeah, you okay there? For people who don't know,
what else is there?
For people who don't know, Mr. Raws sits on the stool, and it's quite uncomfortable for him. So that's why you see him moving around. I don't do it because I'm sitting on a chair. It's padded and stuff. Mr. Raws, because of all the space in his office, it's not got much room in there. So he's sitting on a stool. I would like, sir.
When you say office, you mean an alcove in my bedroom?
Yeah, I don't want to blow the illusion of his living accommodation, but it's very small and it can't really fit much in there. He's got to move around a lot.
Sitting in the corner of a room on a drum stool.
So what you
It's not comfortable.
Because when I've listened to this on audio and I'm like, oh, there's a lot of squeaking. I'm like, that like because we never address it, so because we know, but for audio listeners, Mr. Raws sits on a drum pedestal and it does squeak a lot. But yeah,
a very squeaky drum stool.
Very, very squeaky drum stool. It's got to get one of those like I don't know, one of those what are those cushions that people used to sit on back in the early 2000s. You remember?
What, a beanbag chair?
Beanbag, yes. Yeah, got to get one of those. But yeah, man.
And to get a proper chair I can actually fit in this space, which precludes like 95% of chairs. Yeah. But yeah, what else have we got? Breath of the Wild 2 might be coming out this year.
Yeah, but I want to talk more about confirmed games that are coming out. No, I mean we can talk about that if you want, like games that might come out.
What is confirmed while we're still in the middle of a pandemic? Anything could get pushed.
But pushed back, but stated to come out this year. That's what I'm like. You know what I mean? Like, any game could be pushed back, but if they're stated to come out this year, they've got like a date, then we could go on that. But we can talk about games that are rumored to come out or could come out this year. But like Breath of the Wild 2. Is that the first proper sequel? I know there's Majora's Mask, which was a sequel to Ocarina of Time. Fuck, I can't speak. But this is the first proper like sequel where it's got the same name and everything. They're not changing the name to something different. It's Breath of the Wild 2. I'm quite interested in that.
The first main one, I think. So I think some of the handheld ones were direct sequels, but
yeah, but oh god, man, let's not get into the timeline of fucking Zelda and Zelda.
Definitely don't want to get into the timeline of Zelda. It's a complete mess.
It's I don't think it's as bad as Kingdom Hearts. Timeline that's just fucking like all over the place. I really like that has a loyal fan base, but god damn, it's hard to keep track of how that's supposed to, where the story is supposed to start, finish. You know how you're supposed to play it.
I remember reading a synopsis of the story up until Kingdom Hearts 2, I think, years back, and I was like, this doesn't make any sense. Yeah. This is just someone's just like stapled bits of newspaper together or something. It's just random words. What is this nonsense? So I'm amazed anyone can actually follow it. But yeah, it might be coming this year. It's going to be 5 years since Breath of the Wild 1, so it seems like about a right amount of time.
Can we talk about, like, this is not the topic we're talking about, but I just want to briefly mention it. Do you think Nintendo is going to release a new bit of hardware? Because the Switch has been out for a while, man.
5 years in March, isn't it?
Yeah. But it's showing its age. I mean, there's probably people's phones that can play games better than the Switch. So
I'll be honest, it was showing its age when they released it. Like it was still pretty impressive for a handheld when it came out, but the chipset it's using was old at that point. It was like a year or 2 years old maybe. And then you had stuff that came out early on, like Xenoblade Chronicles 2, which just looked terrible a lot of the time. So it does need a hardware refresh, but I think they just put the OLED one out last year, didn't they? Just a couple of months ago, I think. So I don't know if they're going to do another one. It needs it. The much rumored Switch Pro needs to happen, in my opinion, but who knows if it will.
Yeah. Oh, who knows, man? Who knows?
There was a lot of rumors around it. It seemed like it was a done deal, and then they announced the OLED model. So who knows?
Has Nintendo got any big games coming out this year? Not apart from like maybe
Breath of the Wild 2.
Maybe, yeah.
Bayonetta 3, I'm pretty sure is this year. And I think Splatoon 3 might be this year as well, which I'm quite excited about. I really like the Splatoon games, so I'll definitely be buying that one. And it'd be nice if it came alongside a Switch hardware refresh that made it look good. But I suppose Splatoon doesn't really need that much power. Splatoon 2 looked really good on the Switch anyway. But I guess if they want to go a bit bigger with it, it could probably do with more horsepower. But Bayonetta 3, I'm quite excited about that, even if it looked a bit rough when they last showed it last year. But you kind of have to expect that with Switch games at this point. I think they're going to look a bit rough.
There's a game that's coming out this year. It's another timed exclusive. Ghostwire Tokyo is coming out. Another game that's owned by the Microsoft Studios, but it was bought before Sony did a deal to have that as a it's one of their 2 deals they made with Bethesda to have a timed exclusivity deal, which the other one being Deathloop. So yeah, that's coming out, but it's just coming out on PS5 and PC. It looks interesting. Obviously, I don't have a PS5. I have the PC to play it, but I don't know. I'll probably wait until the Xbox One comes out. But it does look that looks interesting. Probably gonna, I don't know, like be nominated for Game of the Year awards like Deathloop was. But
yeah, I don't know if it'll manage to be as good as Deathloop was. It looks very odd. When they announced it and they sort of explained the sort of the setup of it, it sounded quite interesting. And then they showed it, and it was like a first-person, slightly weird combat-looking game. So I'm kind of unsure what to make of it. It sounds interesting at the least, so I'd like to see more of it. There's also a new IP from Square Enix coming this year.
Forspoken. Yeah. I saw the trailer. And I was like, "Is this an isekai?"
Yes, it is.
It's an isekai, isn't it?
It is an isekai.
Oh shit, man! I was like, wait a minute. That's an isekai. This is a plot through an isekai. Yeah. But I think I mentioned that on the last podcast.
Isekais are bleeding into video games now. Starting to fade out in anime maybe and moving into video games instead. But I like the look of the lead, and the world looks quite interesting. And it looks really good visually. So I'll probably check that out. That is, I think that's a timed exclusive, but it is also on PC. I'm not sure if it comes later to PC or if it's day and date, but I'll probably check that out on PC because I think it looks pretty cool.
I know we spoke about this before. We did the podcast about timed exclusivity deals, mainly because of a particular game that's been that's a time exclusive. But that's another one. That's another example of certain game companies buying titles, so it keeps it off another platform, which is not cool. I mean,
someone's been doing it a lot.
They've been doing it a hell of a lot this generation. Which is actually they don't get called out enough for, which is quite annoying. And when people do say something, they never say it with any conviction. They go, "Oh, I can understand why they're doing it." Yeah, I mean, yeah, they sort of brush it off. You know what I mean?
Well, they're doing it to strengthen their lineup. Yeah, that's why anyone does it.
Yeah, and
it doesn't make it any different.
They don't. They mention it, but they don't sort of say anything against it. Yeah, they just sort of they sort of brush it over. They just sort of like, that's fine. But if it's another company that does it, it's made a big deal of. But we can rant and rave.
We already have.
We already have, and I kind of like I just bring it up again just to point it out because I don't think enough people talk about it much. There's enough criticism towards that, and all the criticism, if there is, the people is always there to defend the company for their practices, even though they're quick to criticize other companies who do it the same thing very vocally when it happens. But yeah, anyway, that's that.
Well, not to dredge that back up immediately or anything, but there are, I think it's only rumored at this point, but a lot of people are expecting Final Fantasy 16 to come out this year as well. And it's another one that's been money hatted by Sony. So that one I'm like you were upset about Knights of the Old Republic. I'm upset about that.
Yeah, because it's the same thing. All right, this is going to be the last thing I want to say about it. It's the same thing when people said Final Fantasy. It was like, oh, it came out on PlayStation. It should be there. That should come out. That came out on PlayStation first. Final Fantasy VII, the original, came out first. No, it should be. That's the code. They should be exclusive or timed exclusive to the PlayStation. But when Knights of the Republic came out, people are like, oh, but it came out on the Xbox first. So they get to play that. We should have it now. PlayStation should have the chance to have it now. I was like, wait a minute. That you said the different thing when it was Final Fantasy, but now it's been like Sony have done it to an Xbox franchise. It's like the Xbox game that came out on there on Xbox, the OG Xbox, where they're like, oh, no, that's fine. No, the original game came out.
They had their chance
with
the original,
and I was like, wait. I watch videos now. I'm just like, oh my god, people saying and people writing it online in the comments sections and stuff. It's just absolute, hypocrisy at its very finest.
Yeah, I mean, there's fanboys for everything, and they're always idiots, unfortunately. But, it just sucks for people that don't have that platform. People just should accept that, like it being timed exclusive. Either game being timed exclusive to PlayStation 5 absolutely sucks, just like anything being timed exclusive to Xbox. I can't think of anything they've done
recently
that's on that level since Rise of the Tomb Raider, when literally everyone hit the roof. But if Xbox were to pull a deal like that, I'd also say no, it kind of sucks.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not good. But people can say that, well, they bought Bethesda, but I was like, that's different though. It's not buying for to keep it off for a certain amount of time. They bought the studio, and they were looking for. Were they looking for people to buy them, or was it like a hostile takeover? I think they were.
No, they were trying to sell. It had been talked about. I think Jason Schreier, who's at Bloomberg now, used to be at Kotaku. I'm sure I remember him sort of writing a story about how the Bethesda higher-ups, the ZeniMax higher-ups, were trying to sell it. Like, they've been trying to sell it for years.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least sort of like looking to see if they could find someone to take it over. And, who knows, Sony might even have bid for it. I mean, they signed up to timed exclusives from them. They were apparently trying to sign up Starfield as a timed exclusive. So who's to say Sony didn't bid and Microsoft just outbid them? But I mean, it all sucks to someone. Like, all of it means someone isn't going to get to play a game they wanted to play, and people shouldn't just take silly sides. They should just like sit back and go, yeah, it kind of sucks for consumers all over the place, because it does. But Final Fantasy 16 might be out this year, but as far as I know, that one is timed on PlayStation. So I think there's a time where it's on PS5 and not on PC. So I can't get excited about that as much as I love Final Fantasy. I'm not going to get excited for a game I can't play. But a bit of a tangent there into complaining about timed exclusives, because they do suck. We did a whole episode about it.
I mean, we couldn't talk about anticipated games without talking about like the circumstances of the games, like, especially when they're timed exclusives, because it's just how it is, isn't it? Like there's a few on there that's coming exclusively to PlayStation that are timed exclusives. So it's not great. I mean, like for I keep saying that God of War Ragnarok is a PlayStation IP, so that's fair. But when they buy the game to keep it off a platform for an X amount of time, so they can get all the accolades and all the praise for that game because it's only on their platform, it's not cool. I don't think anyway. And like we say, when Xbox did it, and rightfully so, they got shit for it. But it doesn't happen the other way, so kind of annoying. Especially when I bought PC specifically just to play Knights of the Republic, because I was like, I'm not going to get a PlayStation. Fuck off. I'm not getting it for that. I'd rather spend like some X amount of money to get a nice PC.
Yeah, I mean, when I said earlier, I don't have a PS5, and then I added, I probably won't get one. Honestly, that's why Sony's strategy has kind of just put me off wanting to buy a PS5.
Mm.
That and the fact that they are starting to embrace PC a bit more means I can just be like, okay, fine, I'll just wait and see if their games come on PC. So I've said this before, I don't really care about most of Sony's first party. Like, most of it does nothing for me. So if they come to PC, I'll try them out, but I'm not going to buy their console. The only thing I'd want to buy a PS5 for right now is Final Fantasy 16. I'm not going to buy a console for a timed exclusive.
Do you even get it anyway? They're still quite hard to get new generation consoles, aren't they?
Well, yeah, I mean, I haven't even looked, but apparently it's still quite hard to come by. So, but I'm happy enough with my PC and my Series X at this point. And if anything from Sony comes to PC, I'll have a look at it and see if I want to buy it. Like Horizon Forbidden West, maybe, if that comes out. If that comes to PC, I'll definitely buy that. But
it does look good. I've seen the trailers for it. It looks really good, and that world is quite interesting and stuff like that. So
yeah, I say I really like the first game. So if that comes to PC, I'll definitely buy it. But,
yeah, man. Yeah. So there's more. I'm not really into racing games, but you got that. The Gran Turismo's coming out. Gran Turismo, is it 6 or Gran Turismo 7 is coming out? You a big Gran Turismo fan?
The last one I played, I think, was Gran Turismo 2 on the PS1.
Wow.
Long time ago. And it was very good. It was very good. But I'm not really that into like driving racing games, to be honest. Just like I don't really play Forza Motorsport.
Play Forza Horizon,
which also might, I play Horizon because it's very arcadey. But Forza Motorsport 8, I guess, might be coming out this year as well. I think the rumors are that it's coming this year. But yeah, I'm just not really into simulation type racing games. Put me in front of something like Wipeout, and I'll be happy enough. But
okay,
but I'm sure they'll both be very good games. They always are.
I mean, like, there's the new Pokemon coming out, but when was the last time you played a Pokemon game?
Pokemon Red.
On Game Boy. Fucking hell. Yep. Jesus Christ.
The first, last, and only.
Shit, you know what? I think my one was yellow. I'm thinking about it, I'm like, no. Actually, yeah, I think it was yellow was the last one I played. So I got the we got the blue, and then we got the Pikachu version, which followed. It was the same game, just Pikachu with you, and added a few bits that were in the popular TV show at the time. But pretty much essentially was the same game. Played that, but yeah, I think that was the last one I played. But like once you play one Pokemon game, you played them all, really, isn't it? It's the same premise. So it's like
I was obsessed with Pokemon Red. I think I was in my last year of high school at the time, and I played it for like 100 hours. I had a team at all level 100 or whatever the level cap was. Maybe it was 99. I can't remember now. Pretty sure it was 100 though. And I went into school like the Game Boy Link cable, and people would like challenge me at break time. And my level 100 amazing team beat everyone in my school. I was obsessed with that game. And then my dad's friend came around with his kids, and one of them picked up my Game Boy and started a new game. And you can only have one save on that cartridge. So it wiped my game save.
Wow.
So I'd never played Pokemon since that day. That was heartbreaking.
What a little bastard. Did he pick?
Yeah, I don't think he did it maliciously.
Did he pick it up without asking?
Pokemon. Yes.
See, that's the thing, man. I don't think even when I was a kid, I went around to someone's house and just went, "Oh, pick up the Game Boy," and just because I've had it happen to me, not like someone wiping my saves, but a friend of like my mum, he had two sons. She had two sons, and the younger one came over to where we lived at the time, and I wasn't there. And I came into my room, and all my room was just wrecked. So I was quite young. I must have been 8, and he was a couple of years younger than me. And I still had my He-Man, my Transformers and shit. And I had them all in the box. I kept them nice, my Ghostbusters and stuff like that. Even at the time, that was probably dated by them, but I still liked them. And everything was just on the floor, thrown around and everything like that. I was just like, Mom, what happened? And then she was like, oh. what was his name? I think he was Mark.
Name and shame and Paul.
Mark, and his mother was Colombian, and that's how my mum knew each other because we're both Colombians. And she brought him around and just wrecked my room. I was just like, oh, great. And like my Transformers, I think like one of the arms was broken or something like that. I was just like, oh, great. He's just completely trashed my room. So yeah, that had something. Kids, as a child, I never did that. I was always taught to be respectful, like never touch, always ask and stuff like that. Not just go, oh, this is mine. I'm entitled to this. I play it. Because it's not good for a child. My parents always said, especially my mum was like, don't touch, always ask. This is not your place. If I went around to someone's house, they were like, ask if I can, play with like the toys or anything like that, and always be respectful. So I always used to like take care of my possessions, like very gentle with them, never like smash them up and stuff like that. But yeah, he did that, and I was just like, little bastard. But anyway, man, yeah, going off, and there's a lot of tangents we're going on today, but it's all good, man. It's all good. Yeah.
There's one other game that I think is coming out this year that I'm kind of interested in, which is the Callisto Protocol, which is Glenn Schofield, one of the creators of Dead Space.
Oh yeah.
Started up a new studio called Striking Distance Studios, and is making like a sort of spiritual successor, I guess, to Dead Space, a sci-fi horror game. And I'm sure I remember when they announced it, they said it was set in the PUBG universe, which I'm just like, there's a PUBG universe?
Apparently,
and
so.
It's like a futuristic science fiction horror game. So I'm like, there's no way this ties into PUBG in any kind of way that matters, but it looks cool, and it's like from one of the people that created Dead Space, and I love the Dead Space games, so excited for that. Obviously, there's a Dead Space remake in the works, but I think that's a good couple of years off at this point. So I'm interested to see. I think Callisto Protocol is next gen only as well, so this should look quite nice.
Quite
nice. Interesting.
That's Mr. Raw's review. It should look, or preview. It should look.
That's my preview. It should look all right, I suppose.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Anything other games that we're anticipating or are going to be released this year? Like, I think that's probably the big ones.
I think we've covered quite a few.
I know. There's that. I'm just looking on my phone. The Lord of the Rings Gollum is coming out.
That looks terrible, though. Let's be honest. So bad.
It's quite shoddy. I've seen the.
What is it? The Game Awards. They had the latest trailer for it.
It
looks so bad.
I can't believe.
And you can tell they said to the voice actor,
do Andy
Serkis's Gollum, and he was like, I'll try.
I really can't do it, guys.
I can't do it, but I'll give it a go.
But,
it looks bad.
Yeah. But I think like I think that's. I mean, like there's other games on there, like from what I can see.
Gotham Knights.
Yeah,
excited about that.
And the Suicide Squad one. Great. Sounds
Suicide Squad game actually does look quite fun.
It does look quite fun, but
I think it's a co-op game, isn't it?
It is a 4-player co-op game. But I'm looking at when I looked at the trailer, I was like, Suicide Squad. From what I know, are especially the ones in that game are made up of humans predominantly. They got wacky powers, like you got Harley Quinn and Captain Boomerang, and I was just like, they're bouncing around like they got superhuman powers. I was just like, with the Avengers, even though that was a poor game, each one has their unique sort of play style, and they all have got Iron Man flying, Thor with lightning, Captain America's a shield and all that, and so they sort of had their own play style. Hulk smash. But with the Suicide Squad one, which it looks quite similar, kind of looks quite, you got like Deadshot who's good with guns. I was like, oh wow, good with guns. So what? You're playing as him, so you're probably going to be. How good he is depending on your aim. So
bad shot if you're a bad aim.
Exactly. So I'm kind of not really bothered about it, and I'm not really bothered about that Marvel game as well. So it didn't look that
Which one's
good
that?
anyway.
Midnight Suns?
Yeah, Midnight Suns. I was just
That's
like,
the tactics game, isn't it?
yeah, I was like, everyone seemed to be doing tactics games now. So, I mean, like Gears of Wars did one, and did you play it? Gears of War Tactics?
Nope.
Oh,
I kind of want to at some point because the main character is Kate's dad. So I would quite like to play it and see the story, but I'm just not really. I'm thick as shit when it comes to tactics, quite honestly. So I would have to play it on easy, and then probably still fumble my way through it.
You ever played XCOM? Did you? No.
Just not. Turn-based tactics just isn't really my thing, to be honest. Requires too much thinking. I'd rather just put Halo on, run around shooting people.
hey, man, there's nothing wrong with running around like a headless maniac shooting people, especially with that grapple hook, man. Oh, that's a game changer, man. I love it.
Especially in multiplayer when you've got a hammer. If you grapple towards someone with a hammer, you can just tell they're just like pissing themselves. Oh, yeah.
Balls.
Alternatively, when it happens to you, you're the one pissing yourself.
The thing is, like, last thing I talk about Halo is you get other upgrades to use and other abilities. I'm like, why would I want to use anything else? I'm just going to use the grapple. I'm just going to upgrade the shit out of that.
But yeah, I think I use the grapple like 70% of the time.
Mm-hmm.
The other ones, they have their uses. Like you have the thruster, which is similar to the Halo 5 one, but nowhere near as good. And you can upgrade it so that when you use it, it turns you invisible, which is quite handy if you're trying to escape. And the target locator is good for like cloak deletes and stuff, because there's quite a lot of cloak deletes in this game, especially if you're playing on heroic, which is hard. Heroic is hard.
When I played that, and you fight that boss with who's cloaked in the tower, I was just like, holy shit! And he's a tough guy, tough boy. I was just like, that, and I just hate them.
Jack Lock, that was his name.
They seem to make the elites more agile, like they were in Reach.
Yeah.
They're
all over the shop.
I was like, oh god! And that one was just jumping over me and stuff like that. I was like, oh shit! But yeah, I mean, we'll talk more about Halo once I've completed it. We'll do a little video or podcast about it. But yeah, man, I think that's about it for the anticipated games, man. Like, I did mention before we started recording this podcast, I was like, should we talk about what we hope for the channel? But Mr. Ross did make a good point that we do tend to. Well, I think we talked about that a bit already in some of our podcasts.
Yeah. I think we talked about it vaguely in the last one, and we talked about it in a previous one as well.
It's one of those questions that sort of crop up quite a lot in our video, in our podcast, because it is like, what do you plan to do, what are you going to do? And we have mentioned that before, the style of videos and shit like that. But one thing I would say, there's the LAGC is coming up, which we hope to go to. We'd like to go to
next month.
Yeah. And so who knows, we could do a video, because that video still gets views and it's gone up quite a lot. So I'm just like, maybe we should, if we do go, we obviously will make a video on that.
It's because people are like,
they want to know what it is.
People are yearning for the times of freedom.
Yeah. And obviously it's like, if it's a good thing about those videos, because everyone knows MCM. Everyone knows that. So if I make a video of that, no one watches it. But when you make a video of something niche, but it spreads around because of word of mouth and it's a local scene, people want to see what it's like. And then our video, I do think we wander around it a lot and people get to see it. And I'm glad that people watch it. And a lot of people watch it to see themselves in it, because it's so small and intimate that you will get to see yourselves in it, which is good.
We always get a comment like, oh, you caught me doing such and such.
But if anyone watches or listens to this who goes to that, say hello to us while we're there, man. Just say hello, buy us a beer.
Get your face in a video.
Yeah, I mean, like, don't be shy. We might look like grumpy old men, but we're young at heart.
But also grumpy old men.
And don't spill our beer.
There'll be hell to pay.
But yeah, I won't go on too much about the anticipate or what we plan to do, because we've gone over it a lot. But like I say, I keep saying this, but I want to make sure people know that the Let's Play format, as what we started off, is pretty much dead. Yeah, it's dead. Like, we won't be doing full Let's Plays. The only one we're doing we can plan to do is the Let's Co-op series. But that's it. There'll be no more of these long full Let's Plays of multiple parts. That's that. Okay. But yeah,
it's already dead.
Yeah, pretty much, man. But yeah, man. Like, so normally this is the part where I say, what have you got planned for the channel, Mr. Raws? Got any videos? Because since we're working separately, have you got anything in mind?
I do have a video idea that I am probably going to do this week. You mentioned actually the high value targets in Halo Infinite earlier on when you were talking about it, and I still have a few to do, so I thought I might just do like a kind of like a super cut of me hunting down a few of the last ones I've got to do with some Marines in tow and see how chaotic it can get. Load them all up with sentinel beams or something. So I might do something like that.
Well, yeah, I did a video for the Halo, but that was just from the, because I'm going to start doing when I do live streams. I'm going to start, if they're interesting or sort of unique, I will sort of download the file and edit it down to like an hour-long video for people to watch, because not everyone watches the Twitch. So I kind of want to do that, edit it down and put it up on the YouTube channel. So that's probably something I'll be looking to do more of. I won't be doing it of games like Apex and Mass Effect, which I'm currently still going through. That I won't be doing that, but like one-off games or group games, like Among Us or Mario Party, I probably will edit that down and put that on the channel. We'll probably do I'll probably make a playlist for like Twitch videos and stuff like that, where I've just edited down to a manageable time. Yeah, because I stream a lot, and I thought maybe this will make interesting content for people who watch YouTube, because I know a lot of streamers do that. They edit their videos down and put it on YouTube, or they throw up the whole thing.
The algorithm.
Or they throw up the whole video, which is like 2 hours long. I'm just like 3-4 hours. I'm just like, nah, not that long. But it is a pain in the ass having to go through it and go, man, this is long. Yeah. I've got to edit all this down. But there's a lot of things sometimes, like Mr. Ross has mentioned, like there's a lot of silence and traversing, which I've cut out. Unless it's like me traversing up a mountain, I sort of like, well, it's kind of boring. But when I'm like, oh, can I go up this? There's a bit I go, can I go up this mountain? And I sort of edit it down and go, yes, I can. I go all at the top of it. It's really cool. But
kind of reminds me of when we first started out and we were doing the Life is Strange Let's Play, and we would record for like, some of them were over an hour long, and then we'd have to watch the whole thing through to make sure there wasn't anything we needed to cut out because we were doing it. Like we used to do it around Dan and Nikki's, and like people would be getting up to go to the toilet or getting up and like opening bags of crisps or sneezing or whatever. So you used to sit there and watch the whole hour video and go, right, I'm just gonna make a little edit there, just to cut all that kind of stuff out.
I don't know how many, like we've mentioned it a lot, but there was a time when we first started where we would eat and just make a lot of background noises, like open bags of crisps and chew on camera, on mic and stuff. When we first started, we didn't mind, but when we listened back to it, because that is quite annoying and it doesn't sound good. We're like there, someone's eating a bowl of cereal and we're all munching on crisps. And we try and be quiet. We chew quietly, but it does pick up. It's like crunch, crunch. So it's just like when you're recording, you can drink, but don't open a can or anything. Just have it all pre-prepared. No opening bags of crisps, no nothing like that. And then not shortly after that, Dan said, "Oh, you know what? Fuck you guys! I've had enough of this.
I quit.
Yeah, I don't like all this rules, man. It's supposed to be fun. You're making it too like work." So, I think that's what he's thinking. He never actually
told us. He never actually told us he quit. He just stopped turning up.
Oh yeah, he just was like, yeah. He would turn up every now and again. Sometimes he'd be like, "Oh, I don't think I can make it," or he would come. We were recording, he would turn up like hours later, and then he would just stop recording. Because we're friends, we never ever pried about it. He never actually. Maybe he's just trying to save our feelings. So maybe it's that time I lost my temper at Mass Effect 3, and you just sort of got scared of like my temper.
Your prowess.
Yeah, my prowess. There was a video that we did earlier and we were drinking all day, and they were all ripping on my aim, and it was bad because I just was all over the place, and I was just like, oh, shut the fuck up, shut up. But I don't think that was.
I had to cut the last 5 minutes of that video because you got genuinely quite upset.
And we
had been drinking for about 10 hours.
We do like to banter, and there's been times where we get annoyed with each other and stuff. But we'll you're friends. It happens, man. Like you get annoyed with each other, and I normally forget. I'm quite like the guy who's just like, oh, someone says I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I sort of forget about it and just go, oh, I'm not going to lose a friend over something so trivial or something like that. Do you know what I mean? Unless they I don't know, murdered someone or
blast you or something.
Even that.
You went way darker than I was thinking.
Well, like friends can fight, but as long as you don't
well, maybe not bottle each other.
Not bottle each other, but people can have a punch up. That still wouldn't make me I'll be like, if it's just oh fuck me, what are we talking about? It depends on the circumstances, man. Like if you've been out on pit, or you had someone said something about I don't know, like you just it'll be I'm not going to fall out with someone over something like that, because it just happens. It's how it goes, isn't it?
Life's too short.
Yeah, but Mr. Raws, it's been wonderful to hear from you again.
It has, yes.
Yeah, I agree. This is the first podcast of the year, and so your game of the year is your hotly anticipated game of 2022 is Starfield.
At this point, I think it's Starfield.
Mine's Hogwarts Legacy, which is an odd one.
You don't have to feel bad about it.
I don't feel bad.
Just surprised, that's all.
I don't. Hey, man.
I ain't got to be embarrassed here. This is a safe place.
I would be lying if I said anything else, but Starfield I'm interested in, but I'm like, Harry Potter would be quite fun to play, learning the spells and seeing what house I get sorted into.
Waving your wand around.
Waving mine, playing Quidditch and stuff like that. It'd be fun, man. Fighting monsters on the ground. It's quite good. But yeah. But anyway, guys, thanks for listening. Happy New Year to everyone.
Happy New Year.
Hopefully, people's New Year's. Hopefully 2022 will be some sort of return to normality.
You've jinxed it now. It's going to be shit now.
Hopefully no other variants come along, no other disasters come along.
Jinxing everything now. God.
Yeah. Hopefully me and Ross will become millionaires. I jinxed that now, haven't I? But anyway, please check out our other social media. We are on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and our Twitch channel, where I live stream quite a fair bit. Not as much over the Christmas period because I've been too busy drinking and eating. But I will be resuming my normal time of the week of Saturdays and Sundays. So please check that out. And Mr. Ross will be uploading some videos as well, as he said, of the Halo targets on Halo Infinite. But hopefully we'll be at London Anime and Gaming Con, which is in February, held in North London. And if you are there, come and say hello. Thanks for watching.
Indeed.
Yeah, thanks for watching, and we'll see you again on the next episode. Say bye, Mr. Ross.
Bye.
Bye.